Welcome to the Purpose to Create podcast. I'm your host, Natarsha Wright, business strategist, certified life coach, and founder of Purpose to Create. This is a space for purpose-driven creatives to clear the noise, fuel their creativity with resilience, and lean into their purpose. I share actionable strategies and insights to help you thrive, both personally and professionally. Hey friend, welcome back to the Purpose to Create podcast. I'm your host, Natarsha Wright. I'm so excited about today's episode because all of my worlds are about to collide. Business strategy, life coaching, business coaching, grief coaching, all of them are coming to a head in this episode. Actually, these next 4 episodes. That's right. I have created a series, which I'm very excited about. It's called the Clarity Reset series. It's going to be a space for us to reflect, reassess, recharge, and reset. If you're ready to clear the noise, then this series is for you. Over the next 4 weeks, we're diving into a powerful conversation about what it really takes to move forward with clarity. Not by doing more, but by aligning with what truly matters. If you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure of your next step, you're not alone. We've all been there. And let me not talk about we. Me, I've been there where I felt like I've been alone in this entrepreneurship. It can really feel like it is lonely, that you're going to the mountaintop by yourself. And I just want to let you know you're not. This season, we're focusing on grit, grace, and growth because clarity isn't about the hustle. It's about intention. It's about trusting your path and creating with purpose. You know, one of the things I realized as I was creating this episode is that we talk so much about strategies for building a business, but what about strategies for building resilience in business? That's the gap that Purpose to Create bridges, helping you not just grow, but thrive through the process. So here's what to expect in the Clarity Reset series. Each week, we'll focus on a different phase of creating clarity. Week 1, which starts now, is going to be on reflect. We're going to take inventory of where you are and what's working. Week 2, we're going to reassess. We're going to get honest about where you want to go and give yourself permission to pivot. Week 3, you're going to recharge. We're going to shift from burnout to intentional restoration. In week 4, it's time to reset, baby. Stop overthinking and step into aligned action. This isn't about getting everything perfect. It's about creating space for what's next. And that starts with reflection. So here's why reflection matters. Most high achievers struggle with slowing down because we're wired to equate movement with progress. How many of you been there? I know I have. Have you ever felt like you're constantly moving but not actually getting anywhere? Like you're working hard, like really hard, but something still feels misaligned. Often that happens when we're so focused on what's next that we don't actually take a moment to acknowledge what's now. I've had so many conversations with creatives who tell me, I feel like I'm doing so much, but I still don't feel clear on my next step. And my response is always the same. Clarity isn't a destination. It's a practice. It's a process of noticing where you are without judgment. When I took nearly 2 years off after my mother's passing, I initially felt guilty, like I was stepping away from everything I had worked so hard to build. But in reality, that pause became my greatest teacher. It showed me what was working, what wasn't, and what truly mattered. I didn't force clarity. It came when I gave myself space to listen, when I gave myself space to be still. And I want you to experience that too. One of the things that I had to realize is that I was working so hard to prove myself, and I didn't need to. And I want to remind you, you have nothing to prove to anyone, not even yourself. You are already good enough. You are already enough. And I want you to remember that. I actually want us to take about 10 seconds right now, wherever you are, unless you're driving. I want you to be safe. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in. I'm going to take the deep breath with you because I need it too. All right, let's go. And then I want you to ask yourself, what is one thing that's working well in my life or business? What's working well so many times? We focus on what we don't have, what's not working, that we don't even really pay attention or focus on what we do have, what is working. We're always so focused on the next instead of enjoying the now and being present in the now. And I want to encourage you today to think about that. Whatever came up first, trust that. That's your clarity speaking. Sometimes you have to quiet all of the noise, quiet all of the distractions in order to get clarity, in order to know what to do. If nothing came up right away, that's okay too. The fact that you're pausing to check in is already creating clarity. You're making space. So if you're feeling like you haven't made enough progress, I want you to pause and look for the small wins. I want to tell you that there is so much power in small wins that we overlook. I did this for a long, long time. I was always so focused on what's next that I didn't realize that I had so many small wins that were building up to the bigger ones. We often think that clarity comes from major breakthroughs, but the truth is, it's built in the tiny moments we overlook. The times when you trusted your gut, the boundaries you set, the moments you showed up for yourself even when no one was watching. Small wins matter. And when you recognize them, you start seeing just how much clarity you already have. Literally, all you have is all you need. And that is from one of my favorite pastors, Pastor Mike. I went to his transformation conference maybe back in 2019. And that has always stuck with me. You already have everything you need in you. You already have it. All you have is all you need. You have access to what you need to do the next thing you need to do, or to do the current thing you need to do that you kind of been putting off because you're still waiting for clarity to move forward. When you already have the answer, it may not look like how you want it to look, but it's right there in front of you. I challenge you to get still so you can get the clarity that you need, so you can know what's already in you that you need to use. What's already in you so you can move forward. What's already in you so you can take control over your destiny, take control over your situation. Sometimes we are waiting for God, but God is truly waiting on us. What is God waiting on you to do? So here's your purposeful pause for today. Take a few moments, either now or after this episode, to reflect on these 3 questions. 1, what's one thing that's been going right in your life or business? 2, what's a challenge that stretched you in a meaningful way? 3, what is one insight you want to carry forward? This isn't about overanalyzing. Stop overthinking. Stop making it more than what it is. I need you to tell the truth about where you are. Because clarity isn't about doing more. It's about seeing more. So here's how I want you to anchor what we just talked about. I want you to take this one step further. I want you to take one of your reflections that we just talked about, whether that is focusing on one thing that's been going right, focusing on a challenge that stretched you in a meaningful way, or focusing on one insight you want to carry forward. You're going to take one of these and turn it into an anchor, something tangible that reminds you of this insight. So maybe what that means is you write it down on a sticky note. You set a reminder in your phone. You share it with a friend or an accountability partner. Clarity truly sticks when we give it a space to live beyond our minds. And if your reflections feel unclear or messy right now, that's okay too. Learn how to give yourself grace. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't always need to know the next step. You just need to take the step that you're in right now. And that's when clarity comes. Clarity comes in the doing. Clarity isn't about perfection. It's about giving yourself permission to explore without pressure. So I encourage you to keep showing up, and the answers will come. So what's next? This is just the beginning of the clarity reset. Next week, we'll talk about reassessing where you are and giving yourself permission to pivot. Thank you for listening to the Purpose to Create podcast. If you haven't yet, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and send this episode to a friend. Until next time, keep creating with purpose.